All right, it is time to get rolling. Let's do some Puzzle Rush Survival. See how many I can get. Now when we're done, we're going to do some calculation work today. So hopefully that'll be fun for people. Okay, well this rook is covering everything, so we can just checkmate them. And they can block it, but we're good. Interesting. Oh, okay, I guess their queen is hanging. I was looking like there should be something really forcing, but just mate's pretty good. All right, so what about check? And say goes here. It's a little unclear. This is the third one. What? How am I struggling on the third one? Okay. So maybe it's not take. There's not a cool fork. There's not a mate that I'm missing. G2 is a mating square. If I could get there, I cannot. I guess I can get there by going... Oh, no. I was thinking check, check, here. But the queen's actually covering G3, so that doesn't work. So it'd have to be like check, here, then go to F2. But then now trouble starts, right? The rook comes over to C1. Our king is kind of on the run. It looks like we might get mated. We might not. We might get out. That's a lot of calculation needed. And we're on puzzle number 3. So I am clearly missing something. Okay. Here's what I'm missing. If I just take here, I'm just up a piece. I'm up a piece and we'll go home. Okay. That's what I was missing. We're just going to take our material. All right, so check, mate. There's no way to stop that. King looks pretty weak. Maybe not weak enough. This guy's unguarded. So like a pushing of the pawn would hit that, but that pushing of the pawn doesn't really do anything. Moving here. I thought this didn't do anything because I was like, ooh, if the king was here, it'd be an unfortunate diagonal. But now the queen just moves. But where's the queen move to? The X square's covered. All right, there's nowhere to move. That is a weird move. Giving them the escape square in case I don't see it. That, I believe, is checkmate. The knight is supporting it. Here is a pretty common checkmate pattern, and they can't stop it. Check. Can't go here because of the bishop. Check because of the knight. Can only move into the corner, and then that square is backed up by the knight. All right, now we're rolling. Here is a common mate threat. Although, it looks like they can get away. So maybe that doesn't work. But it does because of this pawn. So it's a little bit different. It's here, other rook, knight, and then... Sorry, I said knight, I meant king. Then we come around, and because of this pawn, we are able to get the mate. All right, so these two are staring at each other. We're in check. We can just win the piece, though, because we take, and then this is guarded twice. So when the rooks come down and take, we're just taking back, and we're up a piece. This would be mate, but there is a pawn there. So what about this? There's no pawn there, and it's pretty much the same thing. This would be mate if it wasn't for that pesky knight. The problem is taking the knight and then going there isn't mate, because they can slip out on e2. So we need something a little bit different for this one. What are we doing? We're down material, so we need something pretty good. Oh, okay. So we don't get mate. We do what I said. We take take, go here and go, oh, we didn't get mate. They escape, but we pick up a rook at the end. So then we're just up material. Sometimes you don't get mate. Sometimes you just get a rook. All right, so here is going to be mate. It's that idea that when the king is on the back row, if there's no escape squares, they're mated. This takes away the escape squares. And then they can sack both the rooks, but that's fine. We're okay with that. All right, they have a bishop hanging. We are in check. And we're not down much material. So what we can do is go in between, and now they have two hanging pieces, and they can't save both. Whoa, I missed that. They had that rook there. Hold on, let me put that. Oh, wow, we tried to move. I was just trying to put it back. Okay, so if we go there threatening the queen, they can't go down to A8 and mate us. We could pop out. Ah, but they would win our queen. Okay, so we got to really think about this. Bishop E7 leads to queen A8. Bishop takes A8. Rook takes A8. King moves to D7. Rook takes D8. King takes, and what are we left with? We're actually up a full piece in that line. And that seems to be their best chance. The other chance would just be they move away with the queen, and then that doesn't do anything. So this works. We take, they take, we go here, we take, and now, oh, I missed this at the end, actually. Thankfully, we can get out of it by going here. But I did stop my calculation. One move too short. Could have cost me. This queen moves looks very effective, cutting off that escape route. So now they'll have to go only here. We go here, check. And that is mate on the spot. Check there. Yes, that is mate on the spot. Okay. 16 in the books. Here we go. H7 is what's jumping out to me. In fact, I think that's just mate. Yeah, because the queen is covering everything else. So H7 is just mate. I thought I was just going to start the mating thing, but it finishes it. So this square looks weak, but it's guarded twice. So it's not as weak as it looks. We do have this idea of moving in a different spot for check. The king will go here to G6. We can check on D6 with our rook, but then the king can get away. Yeah, looks like the king does get away there. What else do we have? We also have the check with the queen on E6, luring the king to H5, and then delivering, not quite a mate. I was thinking we could go here, here, and then when we come here, he can't go back, but he could go that way. And then we're in the same thing as before. It goes here, comes out, and it looks like he gets away. There might be a mate there with several more moves, but let's try to find something a little bit more straightforward. We could go rook takes H7, queen takes H7. Their rook is hanging. It's with check. They move the queen to G7 to block. And then if we take, we're actually down a pawn. Takes there. If we take D6 with check, we do get a couple pawns, but it's still, if we leave the queens on the board, it's going to be tough regardless. Really struggling. What about rook takes D6 first? That's very limiting. If they try to go h5 with the king, now our idea that we looked at before works, where this queen coming down would be mate. So they can't do that. That means they only have one square, which is there. And then I guess I could go here. You could duck into the corner. It looks like he gets away. Or we could go here. That would work, except they could go to that square. No, they can't go to that square because the rook's covering. Okay, so check here, here. Could go there. That is going to lead to mate for sure with this idea of here, here, here. Okay, so this works. What's up, Fried Foxy? How are things? And this is just mate. Just, oh, yeah. It's just mate. For a second there, I thought we were in check. This is hanging. But look, if we go here, it's not hanging, and they're in check, and everything's covered. I believe this is, that's checkmate. Have to just take the other angle. So that's a little intriguing. We've got this bishop that can come out along here. We've got the queen that can check here, which is mate. Okay. We'll take the mate in one, why not? This is going to lead to mate. With this idea of this constellation winning. But because it's the corner, being over there also works. So we're able to get it. Things are good. Got to practice with a woman's world champion in yesterday arm wrestling practice. Oh, that's very interesting. I'm curious. I know it feels like arm wrestling would be a mixture of strength and skill. Are the women's world champions able to beat the men's world champions? Are they close? Like, what is the skill gap? I imagine a women's world champion would beat many, or if not most, men who are not like professional arm wrestlers. But I'm curious how it works in that regard. Check here, here, here is mate. Being a world champion in anything is pretty awesome. I love talking to world champions of things. This is mate. This is that smothered mate. They can't take. Everything's covered. That's just mate. Alright, so here I believe is going to be a smothered mate. We go here. Only move is there. We check with the queen. Takes, and then comes back. That's just a pattern that for some reason, boom. It is not close. Okay, interesting. We can go here. And then this would be mate. I wonder if we can get mate by sacking right away. Takes, check. No, because they can move too many squares. This doesn't actually lead to mate because they could go there. Maybe that works still. Actually, we take. They can't take. So that is high on our list. Okay, so let's look at this. Our opponent gets one freebie. What can they do to stop this? They could just move the king. Let's say they went to d1. Then we took on d2 with our bishop. They took with the king. We checked on c2. Then they move down. And then we end up winning the rook. So that doesn't work. If they go this way, it works a little better. Except for it's going to hang the rook. And we would be fine with that. What if they played here? Then we take, And we're in a pretty similar boat. So this looks like it works. Wow. Okay. Well, if I can do that, it definitely works. Malin Kleinsmith, if you are curious. Well, that's cool. I forget what part of the world you are in. Are you in the US or are you somewhere else? I was thinking you're in Europe somewhere. Can't remember where though. Germany, I'm thinking? Which would make sense with the Kleinsmith. What my limited German experience tells me. This square is still available, so what if we go this way? That works. Okay, so this is very close to mate because this rook is holding him at bay. So it looks like we go check here. Do we drive him to this corner, I think? So then we go like here, here. Actually, we can't because they could keep coming back. What we could do is go check here, here on e7, also hitting the bishop, so we can win a bishop. But there is a problem that our opponent is really bringing it. Sweden. Okay, cool. So the other thing I'm looking at is check, king moves, and then we check with the bishop. What does this do for us? Then they move over. Then we go... Then we have the mate here. Okay, so then it's like a rook roller mate that we end with. That was cool. Alright, so this is pinned. Important to note. We could go here. Attacking here. Giving that up. I don't see what that gains us. We do get this bishop, but I don't think that's that exciting. I don't know. Is the queen trapped at all? Not really. We could come down this way, attacking the queen. The queen could actually come back, though, to f3 to defend the bishop, so we can't win the bishop. Well. What do we do? Could attack the queen with one of the rooks, and the queen can go to d5 very safely. I don't think that gets us much. One thing I'm noticing is if we could take here, we would win in exchange. So like if it was bishop takes, knight, we could take. Okay. Another thing we could do is play bishop e2. We've got the discovery. And we're hitting their rook. And if they move the rook over, we take the bishop. And that our bishop isn't in danger. I guess what I'm worried about is that let's say they go here or here to d2, and then I take and they take, and all we did was win an exchange. But I mean, winning an exchange is good. Okay, I didn't think that was going to be enough. What's up, LNR? But I wasn't sure what else to do. Like, I looked at this, didn't quite work. I looked at something like this, that doesn't work. I looked at this, it didn't seem like enough. Chasing away the queen with the rooks didn't seem good. So those were all my ideas, and none of them work. So that's good to know that I just didn't find the right idea. So what is the right idea here? Ooh, is there something with checking here? Oh, maybe. So check takes... No, that doesn't work. I don't know. I do not know this one. I don't know if you guys got it, but the answer is to take here. And then this is pinned, and then this is mate. Wasn't that hard, and I did note that this pawn was pinned. Oops, that's not our survival. All right, well, I feel like I should have had that one. I've definitely seen that one many times, so it was a little frustrating I didn't get it, but it is what it is, I guess. I think this is takes. Let's say can't do that. Takes here, queen to f7, king moves over, and then the mate on h7. Okay. This queen is backed up, so something like this, the discovery on the queen doesn't actually win the queen. But this could be mate. They can get away there. Looks like they get away. Oh, no. What about this? Yeah, that seems to win. So it's check here, check. Because the rook is covering everything, we get them. Almost stopped my calculation one move too soon and didn't see it. Wouldn't be the first time. Okay, obvious move is rook d7, but that doesn't work. The bishop's covering it. Okay, so now I'm looking at queen f6 as a very forcing move. They only have one move to go to e8. The queen cannot go to e7 for mate. That's covered. But we could go rook e1. I believe that delivers mate. Well, not quite actually. Because they can play knight e5, which is backed up by the pawn. But then we can take, it's check. When they take back, now e7 is available for our queen. Okay, so it was here, here. Could go that way also. Okay, and we end up getting the mate. All right. Important or not important? Not important. Goodness, that was so great about the chess tournament this weekend. No one messaged me. It was wonderful. Okay, so I believe this wins a piece. Queen can't move. If the queen takes, we take and we win. If we go here and they take with their rook, I can go here first with the check, they move, and then I pick up the rook. So this works well. And if they do that, it's the same idea. Can this queen go anywhere? I'm looking at this move. Oh, I guess our queen is hanging also. Good to note that. Seems like we're quite close to mate because this knight is holding out so many squares. So something like this. And if they were to go to e8, sorry, to d8, our knight comes into c6 forking, so that would win. If we go here and they come out the other side, we don't have that option because of this pawn. But if they take and I take, the king can only go to there. That seems good enough though. Wait. Here, 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 here. Yeah, here. Sorry, it was here and then here. Oh, but then the rook falls at the end. Is that enough? Check. There. Takes. There. Moves. Takes. Yeah. I guess we're up a little bit. Anything better than that? Like what a... No, I keep forgetting our queen's in danger. So this looks like it's going to be probably the best. I should look at this move real quick. They move back. I don't gain anything, so I think this is indeed the move. And we're just winning a little material. Not bad. We've got bishop h2 check is a very forcing move. But then they play king f2. We play rook a2 check. They have several options here is the problem. What if I sack the rook and check on h1? Incredibly forcing, but in the end, looks like it gets me nothing. I am also in some danger. They've got a mate in 2 with knight takes f6, checkmate. It's not entirely forcing, but I think they probably could find some, at a minimum, I think they could find a draw with like queen e8, queen f7 or something. So I would like to do something pressing here. Ah, I think I found it. We go this way with the bishop. Now when we check, all they can do is block this way, and then that's mate at the end. Okay, well, they can do that first. And then do the same thing. Okay, got there. So that's 35. This check here. If they go here, we go here and win the knight. This check here. Looks like that's all they can do. So we will take the knight, and with that, the victory. A piece on a piece. But really what we need here is mates. And it looks like we can get it. Oh, no, we can't. This would be mate, but they can take. Our knight to checkmate would need to go here, or here, or here. And all of those are very hard to get to. Or here, which is a little easier. Could go to there. They don't have even that many illegal moves. Let's say they push the pawn to try to give themselves some breathing room. I go here. Wait. That doesn't get me there. That doesn't get me there. Here, here. Really bad getting my knight to a specific square. It's one of my worst things. As we can see, like, I can barely do it right now. I don't know what's going on. I knew normally not this bad at it. I feel like it's G4, but I don't know how to make that happen. Because otherwise it is basically getting the knight to one of these two squares, which looks like it takes several moves, maybe 4 to 5 moves. A million if I'm doing it. I can't even get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 moves for me to get there. There's no way it takes 7 moves to get to one of these squares. Yeah, okay, so we go like this. This would be at least faster. So we're 1, 2, 3, 4 moves away. What do we do? There. Oh, the problem is when they move the bishop. Like, even if we make first move, they just do this. It's no longer mate. So that is a pretty big problem. So now I'm pretty stumped. I don't know. Oh, okay. Nope, that won't work either. I was thinking we could let the pawn take our knight and then play g4 and it would be mate. But again, once that bishop moves, all of this is done. So I don't know what we're supposed to do here then. Yeah, I'm totally 100% lost on this one. Only move I can see winning is that. They go here. Then what? Yeah. I don't know. Wow. I feel like I'm just missing something really fundamental about this position. What am I missing? Because everything I'm looking at, like let's say I take here with the knight, and they take, and I take, and I go here, then they come out that way. So I don't get it. What am I missing here? There. Oh, now the knight. Oh, okay. That's what it is. So if I go here first and they go there, then I go here. Now it's... Then they have to move here, and then I go there and win. Wow. Okay. That was a hard one, though. Holy moly, that was hard. Did you guys get that one? Oh, cool. Sent you the best game via Lee Chess inbox since the PGN is too big for the comment section. Highest rated win. Only sent it because you seemed open to the idea of reviewing it last stream. Yeah, definitely. Thank you. We'll do that. Okay. Happy I got that one. I had to really work for that one, so that feels good when you can do that. I'm having a hard time even starting this one. We're down material. What are we trying to do here? I'm immediately looking at queen takes d7 and trying to figure that stuff out. Doesn't seem to be anything there. I'm looking at like rook e8. Or sorry, rook e1 to pressure their queen. Could play something like knight f6. I guess let's look at my opponent. Are we in trouble? Doesn't really look like it. Okay. Oh, we have our passed pawn. Maybe we can just use that. Push the passed pawn. They take the passed pawn. And we don't get anything from it then. We... I don't know. I could take their passed pawn, and then they would take my knight. And then we have a passed pawn. I mean, oh yeah, well, we're down in exchange already. Oh boy. I don't know. I can't even find a place to grab onto. I guess knight takes pawn is what I'm looking at, and I'll probably make that move because I have no idea. This feels reasonable. The problem is, oh no, they can't. I was thinking they can move the rook there. Yeah, okay. I'm curious what the answer is. I just don't have any idea. Let's see. The answer was move the knight up, pressuring this, which I was looking at. I mean, I didn't think they would respond like that. I thought if I moved the knight up, I mean, they're in no danger. They could just kind of go like this and pin the knight. I don't know. Weird. So I'm going to look at it with the engine because, I mean, that's a ridiculous move that they gave the computer. So, okay, so if we go here, here, and let's say, okay, this is apparently the engine's #1 move. What if they go here? Then I have, oh, take, yeah. Okay, so we don't want to do that. Let's say they go here. Ah, that's what I was missing. They've got the fork. So the queen is in danger of being forked. Okay, totally missed that. Doesn't seem like that was that hard. So that's a little surprising. Got one more miss. We're only at 37. Whenever I don't get 40, it kind of feels bad. Like, I gotta at least get 40. All right, I believe we got a mate here with rook check, rook blocks, queen check, and then they can't stop the mate. Okay, so we've got our pawn holding the king out, which is quite important. This pawn did just try to run by us. We can take, they take, we take, they take. Now it is a race. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. We get there one earlier. And then we get to go here and the king's out of position. So this actually works. We just race. Okay. Nice. 39. Close to respectable. Okay, I'm looking at rook takes e1 check, rook takes e1, queen d3 check. Only move is king g2. Could go knight h4. Why is my phone getting a million messages? Okay. All right, it's too distracting. I'm not at a tournament, so I got to see what is going on here. Okay, that's funny. As a teacher, what's up, Jay? I got my teacher group sent a picture of OpenAI and how much it struggles over the summer. From June to August, its user rate dropped substantially, and the claim is that it's basically just being kept afloat by cheating students. So I think we already knew that. I don't think that's new data as a teacher, but certainly interesting to see it so starkly put out there. Okay. What are we doing here? I don't know. I'm also looking at check. Uncovering this. Oh, but this is also covering it. Be like takes, 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 king moves. Maybe this is better than I thought. Rook. King has to come out one of these two directions. Then we start like rook rolling with the queen. Maybe that works. Let me look a little bit deeper at this. What if the king just moves over? Check. King moves over to g2. Takes, takes, takes. That does not seem good enough. Queen takes, knight takes, rook e1. We still have the problem of the king getting out on g2. Oh, maybe it's not as much of a problem as I thought. So it's like check, takes, check here, the knight is being guarded, so I can check. Only move is there. And then this is being guarded, so it can go here. Okay, so this works. And it was here, right? Yeah. Wow. Okay. 40. We did it. We did it for Jay. Okay. What are we doing here? Queen looks like it wants to go in there, but can't get in. This queen looks pretty... I don't know if trapped is the word I want to use, but like can only go to these 3 squares. Something like this would corral it, but then they could break out with that. Our bishop is essentially useless. Material is tied. This does not look good. What are we doing? This feels like a miss to me. Feels like another one of these puzzles where I just cannot even begin to see what's happening. And those rarely go well for me. I guess I have something interesting here where it's a very long sequence, but it's like check, hitting the knight. Believe the knight has to move. Let's say the knight goes... Where can it even go? There's not a lot of good squares. Let's just say there. I don't know if that's correct. But then we go here, threatening mate. I don't think they can stop that once we get there. What about here, here? No. So then the last move would be, what about like if they go there? And then I go here. Yeah, this looks like it's unstoppable. Unless they go there. Somehow I missed that they could just bring the queen back. Well, if we go here, I can still go there and guard everything. So what are we doing now? Hold on a second. Okay. Can't take the knight. Our bishop is... Oh, our bishop's no longer useless. Now we go here. And then if they go here... Actually, does that not work for me? Because I was thinking I could go here, but then he takes the bishop. I guess then I get their bishop. So I think this works. No, because it gives too much counterplay. That's what I was worried about. Okay. So we got close. Let's figure out, what did we do wrong? So we went here. Brought him in. Ah, I see it. The fork. So go here. The fork. Win the piece. And I suppose we come out this way. Well, that's too bad. We got 40, which is not bad. It's not where I wanted to be. Let's see. I think the next thing we should do is take a look at our friend Jay's... Sorry, not our friend Jay. Our friend Fried Boxy's greatest win. So let me see what we can do there. Let's go like this, and like this, and like this. Oh, okay, it's not in PGN format, of course, because that wouldn't work. So I'll go here, and then we'll go here. You can see all the stuff happening as I do. I'll go to the helping others one. We'll add a new chapter. Oops, no. Put the PGN here. Hopefully this works. Okay, looks like it worked. I don't... Oh yeah, I think Fried Foxy said he was white. So let's see. Let's make it better looking. I think if we do this work. Okay, works. It's not perfect, but it works. Okay, let's take a look at Fried Foxy's Greatest win. We'll see if we can do some calculation work with it. Okay. So like a Nimzo, which, what does he do? I would play Queen C2. Oh, F3 is interesting. Is that even a normal move? That is the third most common move. I don't think I've seen F3 there. D5. Okay. Probably ignoring it. Yep. Kicking the bishop. Bishop takes. And now we have sort of a typical looking Nimzo other than F3. F3 seems a little odd to me. So we got the double take. Is he pushing E4 or is he setting up E4 for later? The problem is without E4, it looks like it's going to be very hard to castle. Okay, so he plays E3 and he can play E4 later. That makes sense. C5. I think bishop D3. They push the pawn, drops back to C2, and then knight E2 are in order. Okay, they didn't push the pawn. Lovely. We just bring the knight out, and then we castle, and now we're on our way. Now we're just playing chess, so let's figure out what is he going to do here. Fried Foxy. I don't really know what the plans are in the Nimzo. The F3 makes me think we're definitely trying hard to build towards E4. But with C, yeah, maybe we could do that. Maybe we could go like rook E1, move the knight, be able to push E4 at some point. What's up, Daniel? This is Fried Foxy's greatest win. So we're going to do a little calculation work today. Okay, he took that way. Yeah, right. Of course, so they can still press E4 when he's ready. So let's do some calculation. Can he play E4 now? Let's look. Because I think that's what we want to do. So E4 takes. Yeah, it looks like we could get away with E4 now. And then maybe even follow it up with E5 if we want. And then our bishop comes alive. I guess the question is if we just go here and here, is this pawn falling? And I guess it is. So that's important. But we do have some tricks. So we got to calculate even more. So there takes. Oh, we don't have the trick actually. And then they take. I could even just take this way because we don't have the trick. And that's being hit. So maybe we can't play E4 yet. D4 has to be overprotected before pushing. Yeah, it seems that way. I don't know the Nimzo, but I can see that part. Okay, so I suppose we don't care if the bishops get traded. We would just take with the queen and start overprotecting D4 like we need to. So we can ignore that. He does. He moves over. Okay, they're going to pile up on the D file also. Now we do take. Okay. I imagine rook D1. Nope. Okay. Overprotect that way. Overprotect again. What a battle this is over. So, okay. So I think a newer player would look at this and be like, what are they doing? Like, why is everyone battling over the not open file? Like, this looks like the worst two chess players that ever played chess, right? That they're like, yeah, no, there's this open file here. We could double on that, but we like doubling on closed files. But this is what makes chess so fascinating, right? Because as you go deeper into the levels, you see, well, what's happening here is if white can get E4 in and takes and get this massive center, then white is crushing it. So the battle is actually not over the obvious open C file, but it's over can white play E4 and how does white make that happen? Let's see, can we now? We push, takes. Yes, but is there a pin in here that gets messy? Where it's like takes, and now the pin is there. But I don't think so. I think we can finally play e4. I think we got there. Well, actually, sorry. It's not our move. We're hoping we got there. It's been a long time since I have arrived at the puzzling. Yeah, it's black to move. You're right. But I think g6 doesn't fix anything. And we can finally play e4. Boom! e4 it is. Nice. That seems odd to me. Because I guess the question is, do I gain anything by playing e5? It looks awesome, but I kicked their knight, and maybe they went there so I could bring the knight back, and then they can just play f6, and then did I actually gain anything, or do I just lose my nice beautiful center? So maybe I have to just stay here and sit tight with this and start making other improvements, which is hard because basically every piece is doing something. So maybe something like, I don't even know what an improving move would be here, because all the pawn moves seem bad. So I'm not sure. I would want to play e5. e5 seems like the move I want to play. Let me calculate it one more time and we'll see what you guys come up with. But e5, say knight back. Oh, okay, that's what I missed. We could also just then play f4 and cement e5. And if they try to undermine it with something like this and this, suddenly that king gets very airy very fast. So I think e5 does indeed work. Okay, yep, because f4, exactly. Okay, then f4 must come. Okay, well, it doesn't have to come. Sorry, it would have to come if they played f6. Which, let's look at the engine. Does the engine say... Oh, it's our move. Sorry. f6 is next turn. So he goes here, because no longer do we need to overprotect this. Now it's safe, and they don't play f6. Okay, let's look. Does the engine say f6, or is it doesn't work because of f4? Okay, it doesn't matter what black does here. They're losing. f6 is a move, but it doesn't work. Okay, so then we go here. The rook is looking pretty dicey. But this is one of those positions where it feels like white is clearly better, but not super easy to win. Like, what are white's pieces doing? That knight looks kind of bad. The bishop looks kind of cool, but isn't that great. I'm wondering, do we want to reroute the knight somewhere? Though I'm having a hard time seeing where that somewhere would be. We could put a rook on c1 and the other one on c2 and start trying to battle for the open file. That seems sort of reasonable. Let's see what he does. Okay, so he plays f4, cementing that pawn structure. I personally would be worried about this because of, like, king up pawn, but I guess if they move the king to g7, then probably the knight just moves away and says, don't worry, I got your back, bishop. You're gonna get out. It's okay. Knight a7 looks weird, but it's probably decent because, like, there's no hope here, or at least if they go here, the knight could go here. Now they maybe get some counterplay on the open file, so I think I like this even though it looks weird. Okay. Foxy's like, don't worry, my bishop's not getting trapped. I'm playing f5. Okay, that's where I wonder maybe if f6 was a better move here to not allow f5. Or does that still allow f5? Still, f5's still by far the #1 move. Oh, right, because it's going to hit the rook. And then if they move the rook, then we go in and hit the queen. And then they got to move the queen. And now what? Can they take? No, they can. We got to move our bishop. So let's say I'm just moving out of danger. But then can't they take here? I guess our knight looks pretty good here. Okay. And the engine says white's up 3.8. So, okay. Okay. That doesn't work. F5 is pretty darn good looking. Let's turn off the engine. Okay. He's doubled on the open file. It's got to be good. But here it looks like doubling on the open file is just not enough. Wow. Are we able to actually go boom, boom, boom? So let's see. We go here, hit the queen. Queen moves triple on the open file. Looks like we can't push though. So I'm not really sure where we go from here. If we were to take, I can just take this pawn. So it's a little unclear to me, where do we go? Okay, so he just says we move back. No pawns are hanging. If they want to take here, then that's fine. I'll take here, and all heck is gonna break loose. I know exactly. That's what I'm saying. My open file itis is really coming forth. What we are doing is guess the move. Sort of. What we're doing is looking at Fried Foxy's greatest win, and I decided rather than just flip through all the moves, we might as well take a look and practice some calculation is really what I'm doing. For the moves where there's not any calculation involved, I'm just kind of flipping through them. All right, so the knight is trying to improve itself. Again, we should calculate, is this pawn in danger? So it's like takes. It looks like it is. It looks like the pawn is falling. We could just push it through. Probably that's what our opponent wants, because now the pawns are much less mobile. We could also just attack the queen. They move. We attack the knight, and then we push forward. Wow, if that works, that's just like disastrous. But I don't think it works. So we go here. Queen moves over. We push, and then they take. So it doesn't quite work that way. That would have been cool. Do we want to back up the pawn? Like rook f1? Takes. And then if they take, their king is very airy. We could also just take the pawn, leaving their king a little bit airy, but disrupting our pawns a bit. I don't know. I'm struggling with this a bit. Let's see what he does. Okay, so he does back up the pawn. Seems reasonable. You don't like f6. It allows knight e5, knight e6. F6 allows the knight to get in here. Okay. Probably earlier is what you're talking about. Okay. So wait, what are we doing here? So we moved up, moved over, we brought back, the knight came in, and then we backed up the pawn because it was falling. Opponent plays rook c4. Feels like a pretty nothing move. Yes, it puts the tiniest pressure on d4, but I don't think we care. Oh, doesn't that lose actually? Didn't we already see that this didn't work because of this rook here? Now maybe it works. So we go here. Ah, they can take now. And if we take, they take back. And then I almost said then we're fine, but we're not doing that anymore. We're calculating for realsies. So take. Say we put a rook here. Which does look kind of scary. But they could move over. And then the last final move, we don't have anything great. So it looks like we can't push that pawn. Yeah, I'm not really sure what we do here. Let's see. He does push the pawn. Okay. Takes. Ooh, takes that way. All right, so let's look at this. Yeah, so I was right. This does not work. Ooh, actually works reasonably well. He could have just taken this way. All right. But if he takes that way, I didn't calculate that even a little bit. And that does look quite strong. All right, because if they take back, we take with the queen. We're up material, and we have this very strong attack on the king. Interestingly, we're not up material because now this pawn is hanging. So is our attack strong enough? I mean, if nothing else, we could play rook f1 and really be putting a lot of pressure on. So I can see this being good even without calculating the line fully. We could just drop back here now and protect our extra. We're not up an extra pawn? We are not up an extra pawn. I thought we were. What? Oh, we sacked a pawn there to get this right. all we did was get our pawn back. So what happens if they go here? They're up 2 pawns. No, they're up a pawn. Goodness, I can't track pawns at all, and they lose. Okay, so we go here, here. If we take the queen, it feels like a lot of our advantage is gone if we take the queen. It feels to me like our advantage lies on we just have so much pressure on them. So I'm looking at maybe queen f6 just to keep pressure. It doesn't seem to do that much. Maybe even just bringing the queen back to d3, not necessarily to protect the pawn, but then to just get the rooks going on the f-file. He goes queen g4, but either way, not trading the queens makes perfect sense. Okay. Then he attacks the rook. This opponent feels like they're playing quite well. I think bishop e6 looks good. If they were to take our rook, we would mate them. And then if they were to say put the queen on e7, we could double our rooks. They take the rook, we take the rook. We do have the knight to block on f1. So yeah, looks good. Okay. Threatening that way. We need to calculate again. So g7. If we take with the bishop and they take with the rook, they're hitting our queen. If we go rook takes rook, queen takes rook. Having a hard time seeing this. Oh, but rook takes rook, queen takes rook. Rook f1 looks promising. They can still guard the knight. Oh, but our bishop is being hit also, which is frustrating. So yeah, I'm having a hard time finding any sort of killing blow here. I'm also looking at knight to h5, but then they go knight takes bishop, and that looks like we're kind of out of business. They could also take our rook. No, they can't take the rook. We have to remember that. That's a trick. They can't do that. We could play bishop f6. And that's sort of interesting. Our bishop is no longer hanging. If they take the bishop, they lose the exchange. I think we're pretty happy there. So that's a possibility. Let's see what he does. He takes. I'm curious, can we play rook bishop f6? My guess is, oh, it's the #1 move. Wow, okay. That's a spicy move. Found the #1 move. Didn't fully calculate it, though. I'll admit that. Okay, so Daniel found the queen g4 idea. Okay, so takes, but now what? Maybe now knight h... Oh, now knight h5 just hangs a knight. But maybe we go rook f1 first, drive the king away, then knight h5. So let's calculate that. So it goes here. Where's the queen going is the problem. I guess has to guard that, right? So somewhere along here. So we'll say there. Then knight h5. Threatening to win the knight. And oh, no, because they get the bishop. That was the whole problem. So here, here. Knight h5 here, here loses the queen. Okay, we do have bishop takes, queen takes, check, takes there. That looks very promising. Let's make sure that works. We'll calculate this all the way. This is not a puzzle. Takes. I'm looking at someplace cool with the queen, some sort of intermediary move. I don't see one, so they take. We take the pawn. They move the king. We take. And can this queen now do something cool? No. So that wins. So we can just take with the bishop. Bishop takes. Queen takes. Queen check. There. What? What? Oh, my calculation. I calculated this. What? Huh? Okay, so now we got to stop again. I still think we want to save our queen. That seems to be what we're doing. We also have rook f1 now in a much safer way, and we're up a pawn. So we'll say queen c1 check. If they block... no. I'm having a hard time getting rook f1 in. Maybe we don't need to, though. Maybe it's like here, here. So maybe I could get this pawn also. So here, here. Come all the way back. Block again. Yeah, I'm having problems going farther. Takes. Here. Gives up this pawn. Oh, this pawn's also hanging right now. Okay, I'm not quite sure where we go from here. Rook a1 falls to knight. Yep, it fails because of knight takes the bishop. So you went here, check. Seems good. Then check. Then check. Then blocks. And this is where I got stuck. Now what? And he goes here. Threatening d5. Okay. Does that do anything? Like he could just go bishop or queen f7. That seems fine to me. But he takes his free pawn and loses immediately. Yeah, I think that loses because it's check. Wow. Okay. If it wasn't check, it would be takes, check, nab the piece, win. But it's check. So this followed by this check does not work, I don't think. But what about this first? Check. Problem is this falls at the end. But if we go here and here, then we take it. So if we go there, the king basically has to be the one that moves. Let's say it goes there. And then what? Wow, this is a very complicated position. This phone is driving me crazy. I gotta find a place to put it. I'm gonna throw it over here. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hearing it going brr, brr, distracting me from my calculation. Yeah, I can't quite work it out. I feel like there's something great here. Their king, I snaked Kevin. Don't look at pawns. Okay. Well, I was looking more at trying to pick up this guy. But I see your move definitely looks strong because now it's very hard to protect the king. So he goes there. And now here has to be there. Then check here, goes back. How are we getting in? Okay, now I guess we're going here. Yeah, okay, this is looking very promising. If there, win the queen. Go here. If here, check. There. There. Again, I'm having a hard time. So another quiet move here. Maybe it's knight h5, bringing that piece in finally. Check first. Check on h3 doesn't do that much. Bringing the rook all the way in. That doesn't look like it works. Okay. Well, still. So let's say you went here, blocked, and then I think this is a loss. No, it's not, because this rook is covering it. Okay, that's what I was worried about. That bringing the rook away was going to be too hard. Okay, he does go there, and you did go there, and he did. All these are what happened in the game. Okay, and then he went there, and then the game's over. Well, is it over? Hold on. Is there a mate here now? Because if you just take the knight, that does not work because it lures the piece away and then you get mated. So you go rook f8 check. Okay, yeah, so I think it's here, 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 here. Boy, I can see how we can mate now. I'm just having a hard time calculating it fully. So rook f1, king there, queen there. Wait, does it work like this? Here, 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 rook there. And we can take the queen, but then we get mated. Okay. Oh, queen e5 wins. Yeah, that just wins on the spot. Because then when they move over, that's mate. I wonder if my move didn't work then. I think this works still. Yeah, okay, so it's a mate in 4. Just a little more slippery. Oh, that's losing. Okay, I would have had to see that it was like this, this, and then the same idea. That's what made it mate in 4. Okay. Whew. Foxy, that was a cool game. That was a very cool game. Once you exposed that king, you really came after him. And this is something that I need some more work on, is like the final calculations of attacks. I'm not good at it. Like right here, this king is very vulnerable, and it's pretty clear you're winning by a lot. But finding all the right moves to bring the attack home, I find to be rather challenging. Like here, I was all like, okay, maybe we can pick up the knight, maybe we can do something like this, and the computer's like, that's even. The only way to do this is to continue the attack. That could be here, that could be here, that could be here. All 3 of those moves bring the rook into the attack, and that's it. Everything else is drosh. Only that works. What if rook takes d4 at the end? Let's go back. Right here. Rook takes d4. I don't know what we're looking at. Went here, here, here. Oh, in the middle. Ah, okay. Let's go back. So when you were doing the attacking stuff. Oh, like in here. Like right here, what if rook takes d4? Yeah, that is a good question. Do we have something like this? Engine says that it's a terrible move for several reasons. We could first double. We could second knight h5. And even like this or this would be good. So essentially the rook d4 just doesn't do enough. Thanks, pretty proud of that conversion. It was pretty close to perfect according to Engine. Yeah, I believe it. That was some really nice conversion work, Fired Foxy. I am impressed. I think that's going to be our calculation work for today. We're well over an hour. Got stuff to do as always. It's the last week before school starts back. Oh my goodness. So, thanks for stopping by, everybody. And we're going to wrap it up here. Have a good one.